Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Halluf, and it's under the command of Feuer frei Bang Bang. And that means fire free Bang Bang. So he's of the KIWI clan. Yes, you've heard of them before.
Time to roll out.
Game on. Tier 10 game, nothing but tier 10 tanks. GWE 900 is his Arty teammate, and we've got a Cranbarn who's just waiting until everyone disperses before he moves off. Now, we've got an 18cm howitzer mounted on top of a hull that came from an IS-7. It's capable of 800 alpha, 45mm of pin, and with the stun shells, burst radius of 9.5 meters, between 11.5 and 29 seconds of stun. With the extra HE, it's capable of 1000 alpha, 56mm of pen, but you have to get them closer to get 5 meters. Otherwise, you won't get through. So he's looking for a target. Nothing shown up except the CS63, and he got a direct hit with a blind shot on target. The CS63 had been seen in the center, didn't change his position, and consequently he's paid for that. So yes, that's bound to have hurt him. Not a huge amount, because he is a medium tank after all, so he does have some armor, but it could be quite damaging to him all the same. Rounds out in an IS-7, a direct hit with the first shot on him for 216.
Platoon joined.
Now, as I mentioned, this Arty actually would have come from an IS-7. Say the would have means that, yes, it was never built, and there's good reason for that. Mainly down to the fact the IS-7 was never built, was never put into mass production. If they had been put into mass production, I think they would still be seeing action today. For obvious reasons. Long range shot by the enemy RT shows that it's way over the other side of the battlefield, because he got ample warning that that shell was incoming, and he had to wait for the shell to turn up. Today is 1,000 days since the war in Ukraine started. I won't mention anything more about that other than that, but you can tell that this war's been going a long time, and the very fact that they might be still fighting with IS-7s gives you the impression that I think they're running out of tanks. In fact, a lot of people are now saying that the T-54s and the T-55s are now frontline vehicles. There's quite a few been seen, and that gives an indication of how desperate the Russians are. I reckon you could actually hold battles. That's a direct hit. You could actually hold battles featuring tanks that are actually seeing combat. Because there's a Leopard 1 down there, and there are Leopard 1s in Ukraine. There are also the T-54, T-55s. So yes, you could hold a battle featuring those tanks. In fact, there are T-62s in the game as well. And so yes, I think you could mount an up-to-date game based on those, but I don't think they will. Oh, fantastic shot! Wipes out the units 15-16 completely. Of course, that would have been a penetrating round, mainly down to the fact that, of course, the units 15-16 does not have much in the way of armor, only about 10 to 20 millimeters in some places, so it was an easy target. Now, the standard reload for this RT is 30.68 seconds. You can see here the reload 27.04. Rounds out, looks good, direct hit. And in fact, it was a penetrating shot for 798, which makes it low roll. And he's being fired on again by the enemy RT, but notice how he's moving to avoid being killed every time. We don't know which RT it is on the enemy team that's firing at him. They do have two, a GWE 900 and the T92 HMC. I'm going to plant around into that Wizzy, and if we do get a hit... Oh, now that's interesting. He actually hit the enemy tank that was directly behind the Wizzy, but he did splash the Wizzy at the same time. An enemy Arty did fire in his general direction, but it was actually firing at his GWE-900 teammate. So yes, it looks like an enemy tank that was behind the Wizzy that actually took the round, and he was the one that took most of the force. The Wizzy 113GFT being the top tier 10 Chinese tank destroyer. It looked to me like it was either an AMX M454 or it was a cram farm that was directly behind him. It suddenly appeared for a brief moment. You can see that the enemy RT is no better at actually working out where... Oh, now we know what it was. It was an AMX-50B. I confused that one. Well, AMX-50Bs have very poor armor on the turret, so anywhere you hit on the turret, it's more than likely going to get a pen. Yes, the one tank, you never aim for the lower plate on an AMX-50B because that's where it's strongest. It's completely the opposite to other tanks. You always try and go for the turret if you can, because the turret will just let it through. Okay, almost ready to go. Rounds out straight away. We didn't see where that one went, but we're 2 down on the enemy. What we can see at the moment is he has platooned with the GWE-900 and the TVP T5051. Well, at least he's offered to platoon with that guy, and we are starting to see some platoon benefit, because it looks like the platoon are doing well. Even though we're 2 down on the enemy, you can see on the hit points we're 2,000 hit points down on that as well, and the enemy are getting closer and closer, but we're going to be hitting them in depth soon. So, because of course if they've won the northwest corner of the map and they're starting to get close to our cap, they're more likely to get hit. And we got a hit there for 287. RT fire coming in again and misses, but it was where we were last spotted, so it looks like he is trying to work out where we are from the tracer. We did get stunned from that one. Changing position again. Nice bunch of enemy tanks starting to come in. We could get some serious damage out of this lot. Rounds out the Bosch. Yep, that was a hit for 337. Now we do have some armor-piercing rounds on this Object 261. They do 520 alpha, but they penetrate through 34mm of armor. So we've got much more chance of getting through some of these thin-skinned vehicles and wiping them out. I could actually see him switching to the armor-piercing rounds when he gets the right moment. He's loaded with stun at the moment. Rounds out. Lands just in front of him. I've also noticed he's using a manual fire extinguisher, which is kind of odd actually if you think about it. And that's well missed. Most players will use the premium consumables to make sure that they get the best benefit, and that massively increases their ability to reload quickly. That AMX M454 took a huge hit just before he pulled back, and he's now a one-shot for us. If we can land a shell near him, he's going to go out the game. In the meantime, we've got a Leopard 1, who's also a one-shot, trying to creep up the other side. Rounds out. And that missed, but enemy RT firing in, coming in. Well, it was the GWE-900 on the enemy team. We did take some damage there. 195 hit points, which is half our health gone. So we're having a quick look over the other side of the battlefield, but I'd say focus on the enemy tanks that are just in front of us, because they're the ones that we're going to get the most benefit from. In fact, he has fired right over the other side, but he looked away after he shot, and we don't like that players to do that, because obviously if you do look away, we can't see. If he did get a blind hit, he could have actually hit the enemy tank, but because he looked away, he can't tell if that was true or not. So we're kind of compressed together here with both parties in the same zone, and that makes counter battery easier. So he's actually decided to change his position, widen the angle a little. That's a bit better. At this point, it actually helps to be as far back as you can get to change the angle. Okay, that 705 is still there, and we can loop a shell into him. And now would be the time. He's using the extra HE because he can't use anything else because there's no stun shells left. He could use the armor piercing. In fact, if you use the armor piercing on that Foch, it would... Oh!
Enemy armor is
Well, the Foch is gone. He fired, and the Foch is out. He took a hit on the rear as he was turning. And so that one hit the rear of the vehicle. Now there's only 4 enemies left. It's completely turned around. You remember, at one point, we were 2 tanks down. Now we're 3 tanks up on the enemy. They're starting to suffer. There's the Heshbon. Still full health, though. And that suggests that he's an inexperienced player, because obviously an inexperienced player wouldn't still have that much. Oh, that's another hit for 194. And now he's used up all his non-stun HE, and he's down to the armor piercing. So this... Oh, 705 just died, and he went down. Well, our 705 went down, or their 705 went down to our Heshbon. Looks like our teammates are coming back from the other side of the battlefield after killing off the... oh, that was a penetrating shot on the side of the vehicle. Didn't wipe him out, but it earned 517 hit points. And unfortunately, our Heshbon goes down to their Heshbon. But we're almost loaded, and this is going to be another armor-piercing round directly in our last round of ammunition, directly into an FP4005. Rounds out. That's the kill. And that wins the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for free bang bang in the Object 261. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10. A Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. I know it says 10 there, but in fact, in the wiki, it does say 8. And he also got a Famous medal because he killed the last enemy, the Heshbon, with his last round of ammunition, an armor-piercing round, which went straight through the guy's turret and completely wiped him out. He also picked up a Confederate, hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the highest damage in that game actually went to Viewer Fry. Sorry, I'll get it right, which is Free Fire, which actually earned him 5,414 hit points of damage. Second highest was the Heshbon on the enemy team, so he wasn't quite as bad as I thought he was, because he was full health towards the end of the game. He was just being a very good sniper at taking out our tanks from long range away. He got 5,108 hit points of damage. And the third highest, well, that goes to the concept number 5 on our team, who got 3,351. When it came to kills, the high scorer was the TVP T5051, the one that we actually platooned with. He got 4 kills and was still alive at the end of the game. 3 kills went to Fua Fry, and 2 kills went to the Heshbon on our team, who got just 2. And the other platoon mate was the GWE 100. He only got 1 kill, I'm afraid. So no chance of getting a Brothers in Arms. But it was good that he did platoon with his Arty and give encouragement to the other guy. When it came to base XP, it's the TVP again. He got 929, but look at this. Furpri actually managed to get 929 as well. So 2 players came out with the highest base XP, and they both got the same amount. 906 went to the IS4 on our team, and 833 went to the concept number 5. I'm afraid our GWE 100 was a little further down. He only got 742 out of that one, and a Bruiser medal. He fired all 20 rounds in that game. Got 11 direct hits on the enemy and 3 penetrating rounds. And 2 of those were the armor-piercing rounds, which definitely penetrated. And the other one that I think penetrated was the one on the Foch 155. We'll just check that to make that absolutely certain, because he did hit the guy on the side. No, funnily enough, it wasn't that one. It was, in fact, that he got the concept number 5 with a penetrating shot at one point. Yes, so that was the one I remember now. He fired it in, and we saw a high roll, or low roll rather, just below the 800 hit point mark. Okay, going back to details, we see that he actually got 11 direct hits, 3 penetrations, 19 splashes, 5,414, of which 5,220 were at more than 300 meters. 3 hits by way of splash damage from the enemy Arty, who were definitely trying to counter battery him, but they wasted their time, and in the end, they got taken out by our tanks that went across the valley. So they really should have spent most of their time trying to get our tanks, not trying to get us on counter battery. 14 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed. So that means there was only 1 tank on the enemy team that he didn't actually damage. It kind of hints as well that the shot that he fired counter battery did actually splash the enemy target. So it was only one of the enemy Arty that he didn't touch. And yes, I think you can see that in the sheer number of tanks. He actually splashed the GW E100 on the enemy team. So he worked out where that guy was. He didn't see or find out where the T92 was. You can see that guy is missing from the list. So that was the only player on the enemy team who actually didn't get hit by him. 414 hit points of stun assists off 16 stuns. And he got a 48,779 credit profit from the game. And he also took away 6,273 experience points on a ×2 day. So very well played by Fry, I should say. Bang Bang. What a name. It's quite a name from the KIWI clan. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.